A serious problem within the public healthcare system that a leading physician says must be addressed. It was during his appearance on the Love 97 JCN weekly talk show Jones and Company yesterday that Chairman of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Robert Roberts, said, quite frankly, there isn't enough doctors in the country. And the problem, he said, isn't just a matter of manpower shortage, but the amount of time each doctor puts in.
We got too many doctors. We now have over 1,000 doctors and they're growing all over the place. I say to you, and my colleagues will tell you, my answer to that is no, we don't, and for several reasons. First of all, is the changing paradigm with regards to what a doctor is expected to do. When I was an intern, we worked 100 hours plus a week. We've come to realize in medicine now that a lot of doctors are overworked in the sense that they become impaired. They have shown clearly that a doctor who worked for more than 24 hours, in fact 18 hours, that when that doctor jumps in a car and drives, they are as if they are legally drunk.
Now, Dr. Roberts says the country has a ways to go in implementing proper working hours.
The laws now that are passed in, say, in Britain, for example, you can't, your week is 56 hours. In France, it's 40 hours. In America, if you're in a training program, they have it down to 80 hours.
And the Bahamas?
Well, in the Bahamas,
it's still over 100 hours.
No, I wouldn't know if it's 100 hours. Yes. But we tried, I think, I would like to say we're trying to target the 80-hour limit. But the point I'm making is that if you are now going to say that there are only so many hours a week you're going to work, you need more doctors. Secondly, you're in a position whereby medicine has changed, in that everyone now automatically specializes. So we need to make sure that we have the correct number of specialties that we need to provide good care.
Meantime, much has been made of the country's overall health, with the Bahamas last year having the highest overweight rate ranking in the Caribbean and Latin America. And according to Dr. Roberts, Bahamians have only themselves to blame.
The real care of any individual primarily is in their hands.
Personally.
It's in their hands. And our biggest problem today is our diseases of lifestyle. And so here it is, I'm trying to say to an individual, listen, okay, you have high blood pressure. Here is what I need to do. I can give you the best medications in the world. I can see you every week. I can try to regulate your blood pressure. But man, you can't sit down watching TV all day. You can't eat whatever you want to eat. You can't eat all the sugar you want or all the salt you want. You got to exercise. I can't control that. I can encourage you. I can try to scare you. I can wave the carrot. But at the end of the day, you are the person that has the primary responsibility to look after your own health.
In other news this evening, when it comes to the U.S.'s latest travel advisory against the Bahamas, the Prime Minister accepts the country has challenges like everyone else, but that it's our job to prove Americans wrong. A pretty comical and lackadaisical response, according to opposition leader Philip Davis, who's calling on the government to get proactive.
All of us should know that it is very difficult to prove a negative. Very difficult. What we think that the government has to be proactive in seeking to find out why they believe that and eliminate the causes. We ought to get proactive and ask the U.S. government, why do you believe that they need to issue advisories in the nature that they have, find out what those causes are, and then seek to eliminate those causes so as not to have a recurrence of the advisories.
Mr. Davis, who tackled one national issue after another during a press conference this afternoon, also threw his full support behind the CARICOM community in denouncing comments made last week by U.S. President Donald Trump concerning Haiti and other African nations. It was widely reported that Mr. Trump labeled such countries as assholes, setting off a global firestorm. Over the weekend, CARICOM said it was deeply disturbed by the president's reported derogatory and repulsive language, adding that they condemned it in the strongest terms. Just today, South Africa issued a diplomatic protest to the U.S. over the comments, according to its foreign ministry.
All of us should know that it's very difficult to prove a negative. Very difficult. What we think that the We think that the government has to be proactive in seeking to find out why they believe that and eliminate the causes. We ought to get proactive and ask the U.S. government, why do you believe that they need to issue advisories in the nature that they have, find out what those causes are, and then seek to eliminate those causes so as not to have a recurrence of the advisory.
Now, President Trump has since denied the comments as well as charges that he's a racist. The president instead insists that he's the least racist person you'll ever see in an interview. 3 months since Hurricane Irma, and rugged islands still have a long road ahead in terms of recovery. So says the man who spent a lot of time on the ground, Area Representative I. Chester Cooper.
The progress in recovering has been slow. There has been a return of electricity by BPL to most of the homes left standing. We have a makeshift water system that's providing a minimal supply. The telephone company has been able to restore service very quickly, and people are generally going about their normal business.
Now, while Mr. Cooper gave kudos to the general public for its support in getting the island back to some sense of normalcy, the National Emergency Management Agency, he said, has offered very little.
There can be more done with respect to the government. I think it's moving too slowly. And of course, NEMA's support of persons who are unable to help themselves at this stage is absolutely critical.
In the wake of Irma, Ragged Island was declared uninhabitable. There was a promise from the Prime Minister, though, to turn the small community into the first fully green island in the region. Last month, the Head Knowles Foundation organized a telethon to raise money for the hurricane restoration and relief. Canadian-based powerhouse Emera has completed its acquisition of all common shares of IDCU that it does not already own. A release confirming as much notes that ICDU shareholders were able to elect to receive $8.85 in cash per common share, or 0.913 depository receipts. Now, this represents common shares in Emera or DRs, or a combination of cash and DRs. According to the release, shareholders who did not submit a validly completed election notice by 5 p.m. on November 27, 2017, were deemed to have elected to receive Emera DRs. The Bahamas Central Securities Depository Limited was expected to complete the payment of electronic transfers of the cash consideration today. That's important to note that all shareholders who requested a check payment can collect their checks on Wednesday, January 17th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the BCSD's office, Fort Nassau Center, British Colonial Hilton Hotel, 2nd floor. That's Suite 202. And over in Grand Bahama, that's at the Grand Bahama Power, the Mall Drive. You're watching JCN News. There's more to come after this.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.